Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. My name is Gordy, hello, and I was just wondering, do you know what's going on in this pic? What would you do if someone dropped food, weapons, and radios from the sky and then vanished forever? Would you build an airstrip to bring them back? Give me 5 minutes, and I bet you can work this into conversation today. And like and subscribe if you haven't so you can keep up. I do this every single day. In the early 1940s, Allied troops landed on remote Pacific islands to build military bases during World War II. They brought planes, trucks, canned food, radios, weapons, Coca-Cola, cigarettes, just more material wealth than many of these islanders had ever seen before. And then the war ended, and the troops left, and the cargo stopped coming. To the local populations in parts of Melanesia, a sub-region of Oceania in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, north and northeast of Australia, like Vanuatu and Papua New Guinea, it seemed like the soldiers had summoned these goods from the sky. Planes landed full of supplies and ships came bearing boxes, and then just as suddenly it all vanished. So some communities tried to bring the cargo back. They built imitation airstrips, they carved wooden headphones, and they marched in formation with sticks for rifles. Some lit signal fires, hoisted American flags, and created sacred rituals mimicking what they'd seen the troops do, hoping that John Frum or Tom Navy or whoever had once brought them the cargo might return. Anthropologists later coined the term cargo cult to describe these belief systems. It was a fusion of traditional spirituality and an attempt to make sense of an overwhelming influx of modern technology. But it wasn't about worshiping the cargo itself. It was about explaining how wealth arrived and disappeared without warning. That teleological aspect isn't reserved for cargo cults, though. Like in the biblical narrative, they offer tons of teleological accounts for natural phenomena, like the salt pillars attributed to Lot's wife. They weave it into a moral story of divine purpose and consequence to explain why there's salt pillars in this region. It's simply what humans do when we don't have a clear explanation for something. The most famous of these groups is the John Frum movement, and it's still active today, although in heavy decline. And it's active in the island of Tanna in Vanuatu, though, like I mentioned, way smaller numbers than the thousands it used to be. Followers gather every February 15th, parade around in military-style dress, they raise American flags, and they await the return of John Frum, a messianic figure that they believe will come bearing cargo and prosperity. And the original name is debated. Some say it came from U.S. servicemen saying, "I'm John from America." And it's like John Frum. All right, makes sense. Others suggest it's an invented name given spiritual meaning over time. And to outside observers, this may seem irrational, but just imagine your first contact with the modern world was some DC-3 plane dropping crates of food from the sky and then disappearing forever. I find it very logical. How else would you explain it? There's people that do crazier things who have never even seen their gods. I don't blame these individuals whatsoever. Anthropologist Peter Worsley first introduced the term cargo cult in 1957, and while it caught on, the label is now, I guess, a bit controversial. Critics are saying that it oversimplifies complex systems of belief and imposes a patronizing colonialist lens on cultures, trying to interpret traumatic upheaval in a way. But the phrase hasn't stayed confined to anthropology either. It's been repurposed by scientists and Silicon Valley types to describe any surface level imitation of a complex process. Physicist Richard Feynman famously coined cargo cult science, and that refers to practices that have the appearance of being scientific, but they lack the rigor of real science. You'll also hear people talk about cargo cult programming in software development. And that's where coders essentially copy and paste things that they don't understand just because they've seen it work before. They're like, well, got to run that one back. And the irony, of course, is that many of us do exactly what cargo cults were accused of doing all the time, ritualistically mimicking things that we don't fully understand in hopes of replicating success. Whether it's taking an array of dietary supplements or following productivity hacks or worshiping some corporate branding, we're all just trying to summon prosperity in a world that we can't always explain. So there you have it. Cargo cults weren't backward, they were a mirror. They revealed what happens when people are dropped into a system too complex to grasp and then do what humans have always done. They turn confusion into ritual and ritual into meaning. Go check out all my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Give me a rate, like, subscribe, a comment, follow, share this with someone who likes this sort of thing, and then go check out the 1-minute version at Smartest Year Ever across all social media. You'll find me there for that little 1-minute version. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. I will see you tomorrow in the Smartest Year Ever.